Howdy, everyone. My name is Florenzo Villarreal. Today, I'll be talking about our program identification, specifically my topic on the Nueva Luz Foundation. Here. So the Nueva Luz Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit organization located in the Rio Grande Valley, dedicated to helping veterans, first responders, their families, victims of assault, and others affected by trauma and PTSD. The name and brief description of the program. The mission of the Nueva Luz Foundation is to further health, welfare, vocational training, education, safe housing, and quality of life for those affected by trauma and PTSD, to include children, veterans, first responders, and their family. The services offered by this nonprofit help empower clients in need to become self-sufficient and better equipped to navigate their situations and address the stresses of their trauma. The founders of the program started their journey in 2012. Air Force veteran Gilberto B. Lopez and Dr. Villanueva, PhD in counseling, saw a need to help veterans and their families deal with issues of post-traumatic stress disorder in their communities. In June of 2013, the Nueva Luz Foundation was granted their 501c3 nonprofit designation. From 2013 to 2015, the foundation began development through planning and focus groups to help find specific needs affecting their clients. In 2015, the Nueva Luz Foundation was awarded 2 grants to conduct research and develop a program geared towards veterans and their families by offering state-of-the-art and science-based services. Currently, this organization has 2 locations for veterans, first responders, and their families, and they are in Harlingen, Texas, and Weslaco, Texas. In addressing the problem or need, in the organization's initial inception, the focus was meant to address issues in veterans and their families regarding PTSD. Since 2015, the Nueva Luz Foundation has expanded its focus and its mission to include first responders, victims of sexual assault, and other trauma survivors. In addition, the foundation has also expanded its services to include education, housing, vocational, and wellness training. The foundation's motto, understand, cope, prevail, is a driving force for the services that they provide. To quote, "Through education basis, we help people understand what they are going through, so that way they may cope with their trauma, and hopefully they will prevail from their traumatic experiences and move past it. That way they can live fulfilling lives," unquote. So discussing some of the program design features, especially key activities, they provide mental health counseling, as mentioned earlier, to veterans, first responders, sexual assault, and trauma survivors and their families. They also provide education with techniques coping with PTSD, family interaction between spouses, children, and their loved ones, promoting community awareness through their education. They provide education on housing assistance for veterans in need, first responders in need, victims in need, and they also provide vocational training resources. Another key program design feature is their volunteers that they gain through internships that want to help make a difference here in the Valley. And they also monitor progress in clients through their counseling and group. So some of the key stakeholders and how they might engage in the evaluation process. The key stakeholders involved in the Nueva Luz Foundation would be the program founders, program director, care members, staff, donors, clients, spouses, children, and community leaders. Engagement of stakeholders could include providing feedback on how they feel the process is going in terms of therapy, education, and training. Looking at the program outcomes in the short terms would be identifying triggers for PTSD, understanding response choices, learning coping skills, that can help the client through tough times, and establishing a support system, whether it be with family or group or another confidant that the client can engage with. And intermediate outcomes, we see practicing coping skills learned in therapy, engaging with family support group, a little bit more involved, being proactive to trigger warnings. So not avoidance, but knowing what triggers will initiate a response and how to cope with that, and continued meetings with counselors for mental health. Looking into the long-term outcomes, we see mastering coping skills. This can be meditation, it could be journaling, it could be continued counseling, continued group therapy. Improved mental health would be another long-term outcome. Improve relationships with family and friends. Oftentimes, mental health can come in between relationships and put strains, and basically an improved outlook on life. And if you look to the right, Nueva Luz Foundation, some of their statistics, their recent statistics, I want to say as of 2022, 3,854 children serviced, over 1,100 first responders served, 680 counselors trained, 839 professionals trained, over 100 veteran first responders serviced, 85 veterans serviced, over 1,700 adult crime victims serviced, to include trauma, sexual assault, 6 critical incident debriefings held in the community, so something of mass casualties. They've responded to 6 of them so far. Over 200 critical incident debriefings held for first responders, so things that firefighters, EMS, and police encounter on a regular basis. And they've also trained over 40 caregivers. So let's see, potential challenges in program design evaluation. Potential challenges that this organization may face in design is the willingness of clients to share information, either individually or in group settings. This challenge may be attributed to clients' fear being judged, guilt, or how family members will perceive them, pride, or sharing personal data. For more resources, for more information, please visit the Nueva Luz Foundation. Ms. Lorenzo Villarreal, thank you again so much for your time, and gig 'em.